In nature, everything begins small. A seed, a cell, a single flickering spark of life. This is true not just for the towering oak or the soaring eagle, but also for us, humans. We emerge into this world as blank slates, our brains awaiting the imprints of countless experiences. From our first breath, our brains begin a relentless endeavor of coding. Sounds, sights, sensations, they all translate into neural pathways, forming an intricate matrix of understanding. This is how we learn about reality, about the rules that govern existence. We do not inherit this knowledge, we construct it. As we grow, our understanding of the world becomes more complex. We learn about community, about cooperation, about the mutual give and take that forms the backbone of any society. Our minds absorb the values, norms, and expectations that guide human interaction as effortlessly as a sponge soaks up water. But in this process, do we risk losing sight of our own individual consciousness? As we internalize the world's rules, are we lulled into a sort of societal hypnosis, accepting what is rather than questioning what could be? Do we sacrifice our creative potential at the altar of conformity? In every human being lies the potential for creativity, for a unique interpretation of reality that breaks the mold. Free will, the ability to choose, is an inherent part of who we are. Even when faced with life's most stringent patterns, we have the capacity to color outside the lines, to be not just passive recipients, but active shapers of our reality. Just as the brain is malleable, so too is our understanding of the world. Each new experience, each moment of introspection can shift our perception. Our minds are not just products of the world, but powerful engines capable of reshaping it. In the journey of understanding reality, we are both cartographer and explorer, both painter and canvas. We are born into a world full of pre-existing narratives, but we have the power to write our own, to step out of the hypnosis, to exercise our free will, and to breathe life into the creative forces that lie within us. As we explore the mysteries of nature and our place within it, let us remember, we are not just observers, but participants in the grand dance of existence. Throughout history, humans have sought to shape their environment, to bend the forces of nature to their will. Cities rise from the soil, machines hum with energy, and technology spins a web of connection around the globe. We live in a world shaped by human ingenuity and ambition. But are we not in turn shaped by the world we create? From our earliest years, we are molded by societal structures and expectations. The norms of our community, the values of our culture, the rules of our laws. These elements become ingrained in our minds. They form the lens through which we perceive and interact with the world. They define our understanding of right and wrong, normal and abnormal. Technology, a product of our creativity, increasingly mediates our interactions with the world and with each other. We consume news and information, form connections, and even shape our identities within digital landscapes. The way we think, feel, and behave is subtly shaped by algorithms, filtering and reinforcing our worldview. We often consider ourselves autonomous beings, guided by our individual will. But could it be that, to an extent, we are all under a form of hypnosis, a programming dictated by the socio-cultural constructs around us? That our decisions, no matter how personal they seem, are influenced by an invisible hand, the collective consciousness of our society? Our brains are undeniably shaped by the world around us. This malleability, while crucial for our ability to learn and adapt, also leaves us susceptible to manipulation. We can become vessels for ideas and beliefs that are not truly our own, but rather products of societal programming. Yet within us all is a spark of individuality, a wellspring of creativity and free will. Despite the omnipresent societal programming, we have the ability to question, to dream, to forge our unique path. The question then is not whether we are being programmed, but whether we can become aware of this programming and assert our autonomy. Understanding this interplay of societal structures and individual consciousness could open new dimensions of personal growth. It could pave the way for a more authentic self-expression, free from the constraints of societal hypnosis. Let us consider the environment, not just as the physical world around us, but as the totality of external conditions that influence and shape life. We exist within a complex web of interactions, our lives entwined with the natural world and our fellow beings. Our built environment, our societies, and even the technology we create, all are part of this external milieu that continuously shapes our understanding of the world and our place within it. We navigate through this maze of interactions every day, not always conscious of the profound impact they have on our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Our personal relationships, the communities we belong to, the cultural norms we adhere to, these too are vital elements of our environment. They shape our values, influence our choices, and ultimately define our identity. Moreover, in the digital age, we are constantly exposed to an onslaught of information and media that further shapes our worldview. The news we read, the shows we watch, the posts we share, each one subtly shaping our perception, our values, our understanding of reality. All these external influences constantly interact with our internal cognitive processes, leading to a dynamic and evolving understanding of the world. This interaction forms the basis of our learning, our attitudes, and our behavior. It programs us in a way to perceive and interact with the world in specific ways. However, amidst these external influences, our inherent creativity and free will persist. These powerful aspects of our consciousness allow us to question the status quo, imagine new possibilities, and bring about change. They give us the capacity to break free from the programming and chart our unique path. It is this interaction between our societal programming and our individual consciousness that shapes our life's journey. Understanding this interaction gives us the power to question, to choose, and to create a life that truly reflects who we are. Imagine standing by the bank of a river, the water flowing past in a continuous, unending stream. Now consider, is the river the same from one moment to the next? While it appears continuous and unchanging, every moment brings new water, new life, new movement. The river, in its essence, is ever-changing. Our consciousness can be likened to this river. Though it seems continuous, it is in fact an endless stream of thoughts, experiences, and perceptions, each shaping and being shaped by the others. It is in this constant flux that our understanding of reality is formed, influenced by a continuous interplay of external programming and internal processing. Consider this. When faced with a decision, do we truly have free will? Or are our choices predetermined by our past experiences and learned behaviors? If we were to replay the exact same moment, with the same circumstances and knowledge, would we choose differently? Imagine a world where every individual is fully aware of their societal programming and has the ability to step back, observe, and consciously choose their responses. Would our societal structures look the same, or would we see an explosion of creativity, a myriad of different solutions to the same problems? What if we lived in a state of constant curiosity, approaching each moment as if it were new, uncolored by past experiences or preconceived notions? Would we experience reality differently? Would we see more clearly the impact of our actions on the world around us and the consequences of our choices? Consider a society that values and nurtures each individual's unique abilities and perspectives. A society that encourages questioning and exploration over blind acceptance. What would such a society look like? Would we see more cooperation, more compassion, more harmonious coexistence? Consider the principle of cause and effect, the fundamental law that governs the universe. Every action sets off a chain of reactions. Every decision leads to a cascade of consequences. Now imagine if we could see the full range of effects our actions create. How would this perspective change the way we live, the decisions we make? Imagine if life was like a game, a complex maze. At every turn, you can choose to follow the predetermined path or carve a new one. How would you navigate through it? Would you merely react to the layout of the maze? Or would you take a step back, consider the overall pattern, and act accordingly? Consider this. Are we, as conscious beings, merely passengers on a predetermined journey? Or are we the captains of our own ship? Do we merely react to the winds of societal programming, or can we chart our own course, harnessing our creativity and free will? Picture a state of heightened awareness, where you are acutely aware of your thoughts, feelings, and sensations. In this state, you observe without judgment, experience without bias. How would this change your understanding of reality? Could this lead to a shift from being a passive recipient of societal programming to becoming an active participant in shaping your consciousness? Imagine a world where we encourage curiosity, creativity, and critical thinking from an early age. A world where we learn not just to accept and conform, but to question and explore. What would such a world look like? Would it be more dynamic, more diverse, more adaptable? Think about your life as a blank canvas. Every experience, every interaction, every thought adds a stroke of color. You are both the artist and the observer, creating and experiencing your masterpiece. What colors would you choose? What picture would you paint? Thoughts, perspectives, and possibilities, exploring the complex interplay between societal programming and individual consciousness, between free will and the constraints of our environment. From the moment of our birth, our brains are continuously being shaped, molded by the experiences we encounter, the relationships we form, the society we live in. This process is so intertwined with our existence that it often goes unnoticed. We've contemplated the nature of consciousness, the elusive phenomenon that forms the basis of our perception, our understanding of reality. We've pondered upon the invisible threads that connect us to the world around us, influencing our thoughts, our actions, our decisions. We've asked ourselves, are we mere puppets in the grand theater of life? Or are we puppeteers capable of pulling our own strings? Are we products of societal hypnosis? Or are we active participants in shaping our own consciousness? Yet, amidst these questions and contemplations, there remains an unwavering beacon of hope. The potential for change, for growth, for evolution. The possibility of becoming more aware of our programming, of harnessing our inherent creativity and free will, of shaping our own journey. So we leave you with this thought. While we may not have all the answers, the journey of seeking these answers, of questioning, of exploring, of imagining new possibilities, is what truly shapes our consciousness, our perception of reality, our humanity. Perhaps in the end, it's not about finding definitive answers, but about asking the right questions. It's not about where we end up, but the journey we undertake. After all, in the grand tapestry of the cosmos, aren't we all just explorers seeking to understand our place in the universe?